Evidence number 4. The enemies of Christ attested to the fact the tomb was empty.
You are to say, his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep. If this report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble.
Evidence number 5. The resurrection started and stayed in the city where Jesus was killed. The Jewish leaders and some skeptics claimed the followers of Christ stole the body. First, all that the enemies of Christ would have had to do was produce a dead body, not a difficult thing to do in such a limited area. Second, if the disciples had stolen the body, they would not have been willing to die for a hoax. With so many conspirators, someone would have confessed to either end their own suffering or that of friends and family. None of the early eyewitnesses did so. The Romans would have no reason to steal the body. They wanted to keep the peace in Palestine. The Jews certainly would not have taken the body. The last thing they wanted was a resurrection being proclaimed. Third, breaking a Roman seal was a capital offense, and everyone knew it was punishable by death. Fourth, Roman soldiers who fell asleep on duty were executed. Those soldiers would have been put to death for failing at guard duty unless the Jewish leaders covered up for them with the Roman authorities. To suggest that Christ faked his death and later escaped from the tomb is absurd. According to eyewitness testimony from both friend and foe, Christ was beaten, tortured, lacerated, and stabbed. He suffered internal injuries, massive blood loss, asphyxiation, and a spear through his heart. It would be highly unreasonable to believe that any person could survive such physical punishment. Fake his death and then stay in a tomb for 3 days and nights without medical attention, food, or water, and then remove a heavy sealed stone from the inside. Then escape undetected without leaving behind a trail of blood. Then convince hundreds of eyewitnesses that he was resurrected and in perfect health, and then disappear without a trace. That is hard to believe. Evidence number 6. Peculiar eyewitness testimony. In both Jewish and Roman cultures, the testimony of women was regarded as insubstantial. A woman's testimony was regarded as so worthless that they weren't allowed to serve as legal witnesses in a Jewish court of law. Given this fact, it is highly unlikely that any perpetrators of a resurrection hoax in this culture and time would choose women to be their primary witnesses. Yet, against popular culture, the Gospel writers recorded honestly what had happened, that women were the first to observe the empty tomb and then to see Jesus. The historical evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is more than sufficient to satisfy the answers of an honest inquirer. There is a complete lack of evidence for an alternative explanation. Listen to the testimony of jurisprudential prodigy Sir Lionel Luckhoo, who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for 245 defense murder trial acquittals.
I've spent more than 42 years as a defense trial lawyer, appearing in many parts of the world, and am still in active practice. I have been fortunate to secure a number of successes in jury trials, and can say, unequivocally, the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is so overwhelming that it compels acceptance by proof, which leaves absolutely no room for doubt.